Thanks for coming back. I'm just giving you some teaser shots of this front end because we're not talking about that in this video. What we are talking about in this video is the installation of a divorced NP205 transfer case. So sit back, relax, get a drink, watch the whole thing, have a good time. This is a Super Duty Dana 60. My assistant this morning because my son is still sleeping. It's supposed to be his truck. Last night on Pirate 4x4, I posted pictures of how I am mounting the transfer case. And a few people had a comment of that this is hanging down too far. This transfer case is too low, not acceptable. So I did make this where I can adjust it, these studs, so I can lift it up, but I'm gonna have to cut this bar there. It looks great to me, but whenever you're working on something, I guess it means you're too close to it and you have feelings wrapped up in it. So you need to take advice from others, especially if it's more than one, telling you, hey, that is too low, pick it up. On the back side, yeah, so that right here, the hanger bearing goes here. So I'm gonna have to move this back so as I can still use this hanger bearing. So the rear drive shaft is gonna be a two-piece drive shaft. From the transfer case, it's gonna go back to the hanger bearing support. And then from that hanger bearing, it'll go back to the rear axle. This is a Dana 80 rear axle. I didn't mention that in the other video. So the rear axle is a Dana 80 from an F350 dually. This is a dually rear axle. And the rain is moving in on me now. Crap. Back on the stand. Once I got it here, I cranked on the nuts that are holding the transfer case in the cross member, and I was able to lift it up about 1.25 inches. So whenever I cranked it up that much, this front bar here was hitting. So I cut it up, and I'm going to weld in this new piece of steel here. Everything is clear, no problem there. I can also use this bar for mounting the shift rails once I figure out how I'm going to do that. And there's steel clearance on the back side, so I don't have to worry about that. I want to leave it like this. I like to have that that extra lock nut at the bottom with the lock washer, and the same thing at the top. Washer, lock washer, nut. This is a giant transfer case. It's not the best for clearance, that's for sure. Here it is installed. Looks pretty good to me. I hope everyone agrees. Working on the rear drive shaft. Need to figure out the angles for that. The first step in shortening our drive shaft, after we marked out where we needed to cut it, we actually cut it. We cut it there. After we cut it there, we grinded away the weld where it was factory welded into this drive shaft. So we grinded that out. This piece here going in the garbage, and then we are going to press in this end of the yoke, press it back into here. That's still hot.
and we need to make sure that it's in phase with the other drive shaft that we already cut, and we need to still grind out that yoke. And then after we press them in, we are going to make sure everything is in phase with the front shaft and the rear shaft. And then after we're sure that it's in phase, we will weld it up, call it good. Okay, so we're grinding out here, and if you look in this gap, in this groove that we grinded out, you can kind of see a rust line. And we believe that is where the two pieces are welded together. So I broke through. So once I hit it with a hammer, this should just pop right off. Sorry. Right on that line. Boom. Got it. So I'll have it all placed together, ready to be cleaned and welded. And I probably could have done this tonight, but I'm not going to because it's bike night. All right.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We have a rear drive shaft. The drive shaft is just tacked right now. I didn't use the large factory cross member. I felt like it was just too much. So I just used a piece of scrap square tubing, welded that in the frame, marked it out, drilled it. And over here you can see I just have the drive shaft tacked together. I don't know if I want to just finish weld it and order a brand new drive shaft, or just try to bring this to get balanced. I'm not sure about that yet. I will end the video where we started. We plan to have this truck done in the next couple of months, so if you want to see this thing completed, stick around. You can hit subscribe if you want to. I'll try to be real clear on the beginning of the video on what the topic is going to be, so as you guys don't have to waste time watching a video that you don't have any interest in.